Hey guys, how you doing today? I wanted to come to you with a quick video to share about a subject that I spent basically all day yesterday talking about. I went to this event called Small Town Summits about what ministry life is like in small towns, and it was in Wellington, Connecticut, and the speakers spent most of the day talking about our weaknesses. And most of it came from the books of Corinthians, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, and just talking about our weaknesses and how in our weakness God can work. And so I just wanted to share with you a verse from 2nd Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 9 and 10. It says, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness." So now I am glad to boast about my weakness so that the power of Christ can work through me. That's why I take pleasure in my weakness and in the insults, hardship, persecution, and troubles that I suffer for Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. This idea of weakness in our society is that weakness is a weakness. How many of you know that just is simple, right? It makes sense that a weakness is a weakness. But in Christ, it's different. Kingdom principles are a little bit different because what happens is our greatest strengths can actually be our greatest weaknesses because we learn to lean on our own understanding and we learn to lean on our own strength in life. But in Christianity, what we realize is we are weak, we are broken, and we need someone greater than ourselves. So the Apostle Paul, who is possibly one of the strongest ministry leaders in the Bible, would constantly come and admit his weakness because he knew that it was in acknowledging his weakness that he found strength in God. He didn't lean on his own strength. He leaned on God for his strength. He knew his salvation came from God. His ability to preach came from God, and that he didn't want to rely on his own human abilities. And so I wonder how often we're willing to admit our weaknesses and maybe even recognize that if I acknowledge my weaknesses, that could be my greatest strength. And that's what the Apostle Paul had. So today I want to just come to you and challenge you with something that's kind of countercultural. We think that our weakness is something to hide, something to pretend isn't true. Let me tell you, it's something to embrace. Embrace our weaknesses and humble ourselves before God. You know, people know your weaknesses anyway, right? Sometimes we're the last to know. Other people know them. Don't pretend to be great. But what we want to do is we want to come and humble ourselves before God and say, "You're great, and we can only be anything because you have come to redeem us. You've come to give us hope." And so we hold on tight to that promise in Jesus Christ today. So I pray that you will, again, embrace your weakness and know that when you are weak in Him, you are strong. God bless you guys, and thanks for listening today.